Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you could be here with me today. I've got a book review for you today, and I'm really excited about this one. I know I say that for all of my book reviews, probably, or at least most of them, right? But I am. I get excited about books, so don't shoot me, okay? Well, I don't think you would shoot me for that, but just on the off chance that you would. Okay, I'm going on and on and on. We'll get right to the video. Make sure you stay till the end of the video. I have a couple of things I want to share with you. But other than that, let's get right to the review. Because I want to make this a little quicker. I know I've had some longer videos lately, and maybe this will be a shorter one. Who knows though, if I get really long-winded, like I am right now, it could go longer. So, I recently finished the first book in the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, titled The Fifth Season. You can see it right up here. And I tell you what, guys, this book is amazing. I've heard so many good things about the fifth season. I've heard some negative things as well. So I wasn't quite sure what to think of it or what to expect. And as I initially got into the book, I was a little apprehensive just because it's written in the second person perspective, and it's a little jarring at first, especially one character's perspective in particular, and I'll get to that in just a few minutes. But I just really had a blast, and I'm really glad I stayed till the end of it. I didn't DNF it. It actually ended up being a really, really quick read. So the fifth season takes place in a post-apocalyptic Earth where through one circumstance or another, humans have made Father Earth angry, and there have been a cataclysm of earthquakes and tremors that have rocked the planet, and they continue to happen off and on. And its primary protagonists, some of them even antagonists really, are the Origins. And what the Origins do, they essentially can control the tremors, or they can create tremors. They can manipulate the plate work and the energies in the earth to either create tremors, earthquakes, or cause them to subside. It reminded me a lot of The Last Airbender in some ways, where you have the earthbenders who can grab earth and turn it into stones that they can throw, and they can erect tall walls and buildings and things like that out of stone. But it wasn't quite that similar to earthbending, but it reminded me of it. And so there are different kinds of Origins based upon their rank. The very youngest Origins wear no rings. The highest of all the Origins, who are considered the masters of the masters, wear up to 10 rings on. So they have the potential to have a ring on each one of their fingers that represents their ability and their prestige with the art of origeny. Yeah, origeny, I think is what they called it. So we start off the book following really three main characters. It starts with Essen, and she is an older Origin who is kind of trying to keep her abilities down low and kind of secretive, so that she's not found out like what she can do, because the people who have this ability are looked down upon in many respects, even though people like to use them when they need something done that involves origeny. But then at all the rest of the time, they're kind of hated and looked down upon, and they strike fear into a lot of people's hearts and minds, so people kind of avoid them and cast them out, and they're not really welcome in most comms, which is what they call the different communities that are still alive and well on the earth. Being part of a comm gives you safety and reprieve from danger, and it gives you that sense of community and family. So if you are found to be a person who has the gift of originy, you can be outcast from your comm. So Essen is trying to keep it down low, and something happens in her family that causes everything to be uprooted. Her husband takes off with their daughter, and something happens to her son. I won't spoil it, but it's just not good, and she ends up having to leave the community she's a part of and go off in search of her husband and her daughter. And it starts off with her perspective, and then we meet another of the main characters named Demaya, who is a young little girl who is found to have these powers, and there is a guardian from the Fulcrum, which is a large organization of trainers who they train people who have this gift in the art of mastering it and controlling it, and they also use them for different tasks. So people will hire out the people who belong to the Fulcrum to do different tasks that involve moving mountains or large masses of rock or things like that out of the path so that it doesn't affect their commerce. And so this little girl, Demaya, has been singled out by her parents as someone who they have discovered has the gift of being an origine. And so there's a guardian from the Fulcrum that comes and takes her to be part of the larger Fulcrum group and takes her away from her family. So she is on the path to learn the art of originy. And then the other character that we meet is a woman named Cyanite, and she is a somewhat competent origine. She possesses 4 rings. She on her finger she has 4 rings, and she has been set aside as a person who is optimally designed in her bodily makeup and everything like that to be a breeder. And so she is paired with a more seasoned origine who they have decided will be an optimum partner for her to breed a child, and hopefully that child will be just as powerful as the origin that she's paired with, at least as powerful as she is. So there's different groups that people are put into based upon what they would be best suited for. So in this case, Cyanite is a breeder. There are others who are leaders in their communities and aristocrats, and they have been set aside for that particular role. And so it's really unique. In fact, a lot of the people, they go by their name. They will state their name, and then part of their name is also their class or designation as to what job or function they perform. So that was really unique for me. I thought it was quite cool. And so you're most of the book you're following these 3 women, the young girl Demaya, Cyanite, and Essen, who is the older of the 3. And even though they are dealt with separately through the book, they share a common story. And I won't go any further than that. I can't say any more, or else it will involve spoilers. One of the other main characters in the book is Alabaster, and he has been the one designated to father a child with Cyanite. And so it's really interesting seeing the dynamic between Alabaster and Cyanite, and learning some of his secrets. And even at the end of the book, there's still more secrets that he's holding back. So it's really cool to learn his story, and by the end of the book, you're just wanting more. You're like, okay, what in the world is happening? Why is he acting the way he does? Why is he being picked over other people? And why does he react to cyanide the way he does? Neither one of them like each other. That's blatantly obvious throughout the book. But they have been, it's kind of like arranged marriages in a way. But in this case, it's arranged breeding partners, essentially. They get together, they're going to have sex, create a child, and that's their sole purpose in being together. And neither one of them really seem keen on being part of that, but they've been forced into it by the powers that be, and that's what they've been designated for. So it's really a really interesting dynamic between those two characters, and I really thought it was well done. One thing that you need to know is the second person perspective takes a bit to get used to, especially when two of the characters, Demaya and Cyanide, are a classic second person perspective. And then Essen is, it's kind of a different take on the second person perspective. It kind of breaks the fourth wall. If you get my meaning, the chapters that involve Essen speak to you as though you are Essen, and those chapters tell you what you are thinking, even though it's Essen thinking it. They put you in Essen's shoes, and so it's really involving the reader, it's involving the audience, which at first I was a bit put off by. But as I progressed throughout the story, I started to realize why N.K. Jemisin was writing Essen's chapters in that way. And by the end of the book, it makes perfect sense. And it has to do with Essen trying to divorce herself from her past self, in a sense. But that's all I'm going to say, otherwise there will be spoilers. And I don't want to do that to you, because I highly recommend this book. At the beginning, as jarring as that second person's perspective was, and as I was going along and I was thinking, okay, where is this going? I was thinking, oh, this is probably going to be a 4-star read. But I'll tell you what, guys, by the end of it, I was at a solid 5-star. I mean, 5 dragons. 5 dragons. Yes, I'm giving this book 5 dragons. And I'm so excited by the end of the book that I definitely want to read the other 2 books in the series. And I'm so excited by this book that I pretty much want to read everything that N.K. Jemisin has wrote. And she's written quite a bit. So I couldn't recommend this book more to you. It is a wholly different take on fantasy. It incorporates some dystopian features. It incorporates a really unique magic system. And it incorporates a lot of lore that you don't get a lot of information about in the first book, but you get the feeling that you're bound to learn more about the lore in future books. So it really keeps you guessing. There's these creatures called stone eaters that are somehow connected to these giant obelisks that are located in different parts around the world, and they literally do eat stone, and they can burrow through stone, and their visage is completely stone-like. Their skin is kind of made of rock and stone, and has different facets like gems to it. They're really interesting characters, and you just get this feeling that there's so much lore that you're bound to learn about the Stone Eaters. But you don't get much of it in this book. And that's not a bad thing. You get enough of it to give you a little taste that leaves you wanting more. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a mark of a good author. So definitely pick this book up, guys. I highly recommend it. And I'm very excited to read more, and I will be reading more soon. But I've got lots of other books I'm reading right now currently. So keep that in mind to put on your TBR. The 5th season is a masterpiece. Again, I give it 5 dragons. 5 dragons, folks. I wasn't sure what to think, but I'm definitely a solid 5 now. So let me know what you think in the comments. Have you read the 5th season? What did you think of it? Were you bothered by some of the same things I was initially, or did it not bother you at all? Maybe you really like the second person perspective. Maybe you haven't read this book, but you've read other books in second person perspective, and you're now intrigued to kind of pick this one up and see what you think. Let me know that in the comments. I would love to dialogue with you about this book. And now, let's get to a couple of things that I want to let you know about that are coming up. Or not necessarily coming up, but they're just, they're things I want you to be aware of about the channel. I've talked in other videos about a Mistborn casting video that I plan on doing, and it's a fan casting. Nothing has been decided yet, but I am planning on doing that. So if you want to be a part of that, I'll be announcing that on Twitter, and I'll be letting you know more about that as time goes by. And as I said in my last video as well, I just recently hit 100 subscribers, and I am doing a giveaway. My money limit is $20 or less, but if you are a subscriber to this channel and you have a book you've been dying to get, tell me in the comments of this video and use the hashtag #ChazGiveaway. That's right, #ChazGiveaway, with the hashtag attached to it. That way I can track it and see who wants what, but you do have to be a subscriber, so don't forget to subscribe. And I believe that is it. Next week, I am going to be talking about why I don't do TBRs or reading schedules. And if you've ever wondered why you don't see a lot of TBR videos from me, you'll get to find out. And with that being said, make sure that you do all this fun stuff up here so that you can support my channel. Read the description below so that you can find out more about me. There's links where you can find some of my stuff down below. There is a link to purchase the 5th season in the description below, so if you want to purchase it, use that link. It will give me a little bit of a kickback. Thank you very much. And make sure to support me on Patreon. I really am ramping up my Patreon and hoping I can get some of you on board who might wish to support me in my endeavors here on this channel. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and that your next week is amazing. Make sure you are reading more books. I will talk to you soon. Have a fun day, guys. Bye. That was weird, wasn't it? Okay. Have a great one, guys. Bye.